Hey everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com, and it's time for our next Saturday with Stacy YouTube class number 430. If you are watching this on the premiere day, which is Saturday, then it is January 1st, 2022, and Happy New Year's everybody. Well, for some out there, 2021 was forever long. It couldn't end soon enough. And for others out there, 2021 went by in a blink of an eye. I think I fall somewhere in between there, where sometimes I thought, is this ever going to come to an end? And then the very next day it would be like, what happened? The week went by so fast. How could it already be October? It was just June. So I am hoping that 2022 finds everyone well and healthy and getting creative and stepping out of boxes and being free to be yourself and just embracing who you are and what you bring to the world, which is a lot. We all have such amazing gifts to offer. Mine would not be cooking. Yours may be baking. Mine, not so much. But where you may excel in one thing, somebody else excels in another. And by acknowledging and appreciating all of those things that we have to offer and what makes us different, allows us to just move forward in this world in a positive and kind fashion. So I'm looking forward to 2022, whatever it may bring. And with my life, you never know what's gonna come. I am a lifetime movie. I truly am. You guys, you don't even know about my sister who moved to the United Arab Emirates and then couldn't get out with her kids and then lived with me. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. But I truly am a lifetime movie waiting to happen. And hey, Jennifer Aniston, we're kind of close in age. Hello? You can play me. That'll work. So what do I have for you today? Well, I don't have winner chicken dinner. We're going to have to wait another week or so before I can announce all the winner chicken dinners. And that's because I'm filming this a little bit earlier than normal. I generally tape my classes on Thursday and they premiere on Saturday. So I tape them Thursday night. They load from Thursday to Friday, sometimes all day Friday, and then they premiere on Saturday. But being that Friday is New Year's Eve, at Scrapbooking Made Simple, we are always closed New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, no matter what days they fall on. We are closed. I think that you should be home with your family. I don't want people on the roads on New Year's Eve, so we just take the day off. So I'm taping this on Wednesday, and to give everybody enough opportunity to post their comments from the last YouTube, we won't pick winners. So when we do finally announce the winners, I'll have about 6 of you to announce. So hang tight. That means you can go back to last week's YouTube and get your comments still in there and here, because we haven't picked those winners yet. So what do I have for you today? Oh my gosh. I have a worldwide launch. I mean, what a better way to start 2022 off. I have a worldwide launch from Spellbinders for you. I have new product from Couture Creations and Aussie Andrew, a mate, and I have product from Royal Talons. They're Amsterdam. It's an Amsterdam brand. I don't know if it's made by Royal Talons, but they distribute it, the Amsterdam brand of acrylic paint. Now, it's not just any acrylic paint. Oh no, I wouldn't just pick any acrylic paint. This is holy smokes artichokes. And wait till you see what we do with it. While last week's class was very take notes technique based, this one may be too a little bit, but it's really about playing and having fun and introducing you to things that you might not know about or have ever seen, or might already have in your arsenal, your crafty stash, and forgot all about. Those Amsterdam paints, I don't think so. In fact, I'm going to have to pull my phone over when it comes time to show them to you, because I have to read the blurb about them so you know what it is you're buying and why we brought them in, because they are a fine art product. Does that mean that you have to be a fine artist to use them? Heavens no, please. Fine art just means the quality of the product is superior. That's what it means. So I always use a analogy. If you were baking chocolate chip cookies, would you want to use like Ghirardelli chocolate for your chocolate chips? Or would you want to use the chocolate chips that really aren't chocolate? They're not, they're this waxy substance. I mean, you want to use the best you can, because that's only going to make your chocolate chip cookies better. That's all. That's the same thing when you talk about fine art products. It's not that you have to be the fine artist. No, the idea is that you use the best product you can afford, and that's going to make your creations even better because the product is better. Now, luckily, with fine art products, they are not scrapbooking or card making products. The minute you put card making or paper crafting or scrapbooking on an item, the price goes up, up, up. These fine art products are at such a price that I think if they were from the paper crafting world, they'd be at least twice what they are. So shh, don't tell the fine art world that we're starting to invade their domain. We want the best and we deserve it. So winner, winner, chicken dinner will be next week. I should be able to have all the list and give everybody ample time to get their comments in. If you don't know how to post a comment, you have to be a subscriber to Scrapbooking Made Simple. Over here, there's a little heart that says SMS. Just put your cursor over the heart, a little subscribe bar will come up, click that. Then you post your comment down below. Down below. Not to the side. Live chat does not count. If you are watching this Saturday morning and we are talking over here, that doesn't count. You actually have to post a comment below, and then you have to wait for me to approve it. It doesn't just automatically show up. I have to approve it. And I read the comments. I do my best to read all of them. I can't respond to them because there's just too many, but I do absolutely read the comments. And in fact, I mentioned one last week about a post, a comment that was on YouTube that I wanted to talk about. So if you have a chance to go back, you'll see that. Anyway, I have got oodles and oodles and oodles of fun for you. And I also have one more thing to share with you before I tilt down. And this is something that I have waited for and worked for. And I know it seems silly, but it just meant the world to me, probably because my kids wanted me to have it. You know, my boys are 19 and 20, and I've been doing YouTube classes since they were, I think, 10, and they knew more about YouTube than I did. And you know, they follow gamers and people who have 5 and 10 million subscribers, and they were like, "Go, Mom, go. And you have to get this play button, Mom." And I didn't know what they were talking about. And finally they sat me down and showed me, they made me watch somebody opening up their play button. Well, to get a silver play button, you have to have 100,000 subscribers. Don't know why I'm tearing up. Look what came. It's silly, right? It's absolutely silly. So it's all because of you. You and my boys who just kept saying, "Go, Mom, go. You can do this." And I'll open it up and I'll show you what it is, because we've worked so hard for this, you and I. You've supported me and stood by me, and my boys, when I got it, my kid's eyes, Michael's like, and he's 19, and he's like, "Way to go, Mom, good job." Oh, the best ever. So it didn't arrive for Christmas, but it's here now, and I just want to thank you. Thank you for making something possible for me to share with my boys. They mean absolutely everything to me, and it's something that we have that I can talk to them about, that they can relate to me about YouTube, and we can have conversations. And you know, when your kids are teenagers, sometimes it's hard to find that in with them on, you know, what is it that you can have a conversation about where they're not going to roll your eyes or think that they always think that they know more than you. I know I thought that about my parents. I knew more than my parents, but this gave me an in so that I could sit down and have conversations. And then those conversations led to other conversations, which led to other conversations. And when you're a parent, that's just the best thing with your kids. So let me tilt on down and let me open it up and show you my 100,000 subscriber silver play button. Now the next is a gold play button, and you need 1 million subscribers. So a girl's got to have a goal, and I'm going to certainly reach for it. But I'm going to embrace what I have in my arms and what I have in my home and my kids, and I'm going to be thankful for what I have in the here and the now. Okay, let me show you this, and then I'll show you samples. Down we go. Bye. Okay, so I'm not going to zoom in. Okay, so. Okay, oh, I know, very exciting, right? So here is my letter from YouTube, congratulating me on my 100,000 subscribers. And it says, just briefly, some 100,000 subscribers, just how far you've come. If each of your subscribers were a light year, they could take you from one side of the Milky Way to the other. That's far. And it goes on to congratulate you and congratulate me. And then here it is. Now, I know it's just a plaque, and I shouldn't get all excited. Look at it, it's got, I don't know if I can get it in there. It's got Scrapbooking Made Simple. Congratulations, look at that. So Scrapbooking Made Simple, presented to Scrapbooking Made Simple for passing 100,000 subscribers. And I know it's an object, and you shouldn't, I don't know that it's so much the object that matters, or it's not. It's what happened because I got this. I mean, really, it was, when it came in the mail, it was just the most wonderful thing ever. And again, I have all of you to thank for it. Not only did you give me something that I can look at and be proud of, but you gave me something that my kids can look at and be proud of their mom. That's what matters. My kids can look at this, and I know it's just silly, it's from YouTube. But my kids can look at it and say, "Way to go, Mom." And that means everything to me. It really does. So thank you, everybody. Really, thank you very much for giving that to me. You always say that I do so much for you, and now look at what you've done for me. Okay, we're gonna move on. Don't know where I'm gonna put it yet. I wanna like mount it to my car, and then mount it to my, just Flavor Flav it. Make a necklace out of it and just walk around everywhere with it. I don't know. We'll find a wonderful place for it. Maybe next to my kids' high school diplomas. I don't know, something fabulous. Okay, so I'm gonna tilt back down. We're gonna get started for today. I am so sorry for tearing up, but you gave me something that nobody else could have given me. So thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Okay, down we go. Bye. Next one's 1 million subscribers. Holy smokes, artichokes. But a girl's got to have a goal. Okay. And then I think the next one is 5 million subscribers. My boys will have to take over to work on that one. Okay, so sample or sneak peek time. Let me show you some of the samples that we've got going. So I've got a worldwide launch from the Spellbinders. I've got a worldwide launch from Spellbinders. I've got new product from Couture Creations, and I've got Amsterdam acrylic paints from brought to us from Royal Talons. Look at how beautiful is this. So just a few samples to kind of give you an idea, and then we are going to start. Okay, are we ready? Ready. Okay, I'm going to start with the embossing folders. So I've got 5 new embossing folders from Spellbinders. 3 of them have already been released. This one has already been released. It's just a new release. This one, so you may find this at your local independent mom and pop shop. They may have this in stock. These are the 3 that are launched. The 2 that are not launched yet, and we have a worldwide on, are these 2. And here. So what I want you to notice is, first off, the size of these. They are not standard size. They are larger. They are their large embossing folders. They are not 3D, they are 2D. So they don't have that extra deep impression, but they do have a beautiful impression. The lovely thing about them is the size. They are 5.5 inch wide, so they'll go through a Big Shot, a Big Kick, a Big Shot Plus, a Big Shot Pro, a Vagabond, a Big Shot Fabby, a Big Shot Vintage. They'll go through a Platinum 8. Any machine that will do 6 inch wide, they're going to do these 5.5 by 8. I believe it's 8.25. No, 5.5 by 8.5. So 5.5 by 8.5. So basically you can take your your paper at 8.5 by 11, cut it in half and send it through. See, I'm still choked up. Okay, so new large size embossing folders. Fabulous in the size, amazing in the size, and value priced at $8.99 each, which I think is a smoking hot deal. Now we'll have them on a YouTube Yummies, absolutely. But these are the 2 that you can only get here. These are worldwide launches. The size allows you to do so much more. You can do much larger formatted projects and still have all that design. And the way the pressure is on these is that when you send them through, you're going to have a beautiful design from one side to the other. There's not going to be any highs and lows. It's going to look gorgeous no matter what. The size will also allow you to then score and make a card base if you want to. Think about all the matting you can do now that they are so much bigger. Think about your altered art, your mixed media, your junk journals. Everything changes when you have more room. You can always do something smaller. That's always an easy thing to do. But to make something larger is harder. So when you start with something that gives you that surface, that area to do that, it's just an added benefit. So these are their first large embossing folders at $8.99, and I'm going to be playing with them. The Splatter and the This Plus This are worldwide launches here. They will not be available for a few more months anywhere else. We'll do an I Want It All on them, but then we'll also have them open stock if there's just 1 or 2 that tickle your fancy. So I'm going to start with these, and I'm going to keep it pretty darn simple. I'm going to use the embossing folders the way most embossing folders are used, just so that people who have never seen an embossing folder can get an idea of what they can do and the value that they are. Let me put this one there and this one there. They are considered a tool because once you buy them, you never throw them away. They are a molded plastic, so you use them again and again and again, which is why your $9 goes so far, because you'll have this forever, truly, and you can just continually use it. The idea is learning how to do different techniques to make it, every time you use it, a little different. So I'm going to start, I think I'm going to start maybe even with this one. And I'm going to take and just emboss a piece of paper. Yeah, I think I'm just going to emboss a piece of paper. Let's grab a piece of paper. Perfect. So I've got a sheet of purple here. Gosh, that's almost to size, isn't it? Holy smokes. I'm going to trim it down just a little bit. Look at that. And there's my hand. That gives you kind of an understanding of the size. I'm going to bring over my Big Shot machine because that's the machine we're using today. And I want to talk to you about the sandwich that you're going to use. The Big Shots that are being sold now come with a base plate and a solo shim, and then 2 clear cutting pads, one to sandwich your dies and then send them through. Normally, with an embossing folder, we would be taking our solo shim off because that's meant for wafer dies. And we would be looking down here and saying, oh, here's embossing folders. Let's follow this formula. Let's follow this sandwich that they give you. They want you to use the base platform, and then there's a cut plate or a clear plate, then your embossing folder, and then another clear plate, and you sandwich it on through. So let's do that. I've got my embossing folder right here. I've got my paper put in. Now, how do you know if an embossing folder is upside down or right side up? The front of an embossing folder generally will have the name of the manufacturer. That's the side you want facing you, and when you open it, that's the paper you want shown on your project. That's the side of the paper you want. So you always have that paper that you want to see on your project facing you, and the name of the company facing you. Now let's do just what Sizzix said according to their sandwich on the base platform. Let's take a clear plate, and I've got my embossing folder, and you can see it just fits by the hair of a chinny chin chin, and then my next cut plate, or my do not cut plate for that matter. And let me zoom back, and let me tell you, this is a no can do. You will be spinning and spinning. It will not go through. It is too thick. The sandwich is too thick to fit into the roller to add the pressure. It's just too thick. So what do? We start playing around and backing things out until we get to the proper height so that this will roll through. Now if I take, let's take off one of my cut plates. So now I've got my base and I've got my embossing folder with my paper and just one cut plate. So I just took one off. I set one over here and took one off to make it a little thinner. Now it's too thin. Okay, so that's not going to work. What do we do next? Well, we have the solo shim that's really meant to be used with your wafer dies, but we need to get some height in there. So what are we going to do? Let's add that solo shim back in. Now we already know if we sandwich it between two cut plates, it's going to be too tall, even more so now that we've added that solo shim back in. So what if we just added our solo shim, our embossing folder, and one plate over the top and sent it through. Then what are we going to get? Oh ho ho, look at that. So not everybody's embossing folders are manufactured the exact same way. They're all a little different in thickness, they're a little different in size, and it's up to you sometimes to sit and play. There's going to be no harm in playing as long as you realize when it says don't do it, when you try to push it and it's not going, you take a step back and you remove something. Maybe you removed too much. I removed too much when I took away the bottom clear plate and I sent it through. There was too much. It wasn't high enough. I needed to add something back in, and that's what I did. So there's my embossing. And that's what an embossing folder does. It takes the paper and it pushes the paper into there's a positive and a negative space. It pushes it in, causing the paper to then mold to that and add that texture and dimension. So if you are using a Sizzix Big Shot machine, a newer Big Shot machine, the sandwich is your base plate, your solo shim, your embossing folder with your paper, and one clear plate, and you're going to send it through like that, and it's going to work perfect every time. If you try other sandwiches, you're going to find that either it's going to go, it doesn't want to go through, or it sells through so easy that it doesn't do anything. Just work towards finding the right sandwich for your machine. With the newer Big Shots, the base plate, solo shim, embossing folder, and you can see the embossing folder is just about the size. I mean, it's right there, the size of my platform. And then a clear plate. So embossing is pretty darn simple. Let's take it to the next step. Let's go ahead and let's play maybe we'll play with this one still. And this time I'm going to play with my paper that's called Magic and Chocolate. Now we found 2 boxes of these, 2 of this and 2 of that. We have very little left. Didn't even know I had the 2 boxes. They were tucked away, but we found them. What is this paper? This paper is a color core paper. So when I used cardstock here, if I tear it, the color's all the way the same. The same all the way through. It's purple on both sides. It's going to be purple no matter what I do. With Magic, it is a black on the top, but on the back is a different color. That means that when we use this and we emboss with it and we sand it, the back color is going to come through. Same with the chocolate. Now these pads have been used, so I don't have all the colors in here, but the new ones have every color. So I've got different colors of browns on the top for chocolate, but then you can see all the beautiful colors on the back. So let's go ahead and let's sand one. Let's grab one and do one. Gosh, I don't have any blues in here. That's a shame. Oh, let's grab a green and we'll go with a green. Just to give you an idea. So the top piece always shows you, and then on the back shows you the color. And I guess I'll just do this one more time. I'm just going to cut a piece. I'm not going to do the full size. I'm going to put it in. Remember, it's the side that I want to see on my project. I don't want to see the green. I want to see the black. Because when I sand this, the black's going to sand away and that green is going to come through. All right, bring over my machine and let's send it on through. Base plate, solo shim, embossing folder with the paper, Spellbinders facing me, top plate. Send it on through and easy peasy. Look at that easy peasy roll. I mean, that's easy peasy. There's no pressure at all on your hands. It's a super smooth roll. And there's the embossing. And you're like, I see that. I get it. Okay, nice, but it's black. I know. Then you take a sanding block. This is Couture Creations sanding block. And he's got a couple different grits for your paper. And when you do that, all of a sudden the green is starting to come through. And that's what makes this paper so unusual. I'll tell you, Coordinations used to make this paper years ago, and we loved it, and we bought it from Coordinations. But then Coordinations was bought by Doris, and then Doris, and then Doris was bought by Michaels, and then Michaels put them out, closed them, and the paper went away. So we went and we found it, and we had it manufactured. Now, unfortunately, it's too expensive for us to manufacture it. So I've only got what I've got left. But look at how magical is that, right? I mean, that's pretty cool. Let's do something with the chocolate. So maybe I take, how about this one? I'll use this embossing folder with the chocolate. And let's grab a piece of chocolate paper. So you've got a couple different browns, and you really choose, I love that blue. Decisions. All right, I love the blue. I'm going with the blue. That's a totally different. How about this one too? So in chocolate, well, you've got different colored browns on the top. Let's go ahead and cut it up. And again, I'm just hacking off the swatch. And let's put it in there. Ooh. What if I took a piece of the black and put the black in there too? Look at that. See, you can do that. You've got room. All right, let's cut. Well, it's not cut. Let's roll this on through. Bring my machine back over. And my base, my solo shim, my embossing folder, my paper facing me, my Spellbinders name facing me, and let's send her on through. Square her on up, and easy peasy roll. You think it might not be doing anything, but I promise you, the minute you take it out, You can see the embossing on it. But then let's sand it. So let's do the brown. Right? Pretty cool, huh? And then let's do the black. Now I could sand it more. I sanded this one more. I could definitely sand my black one more and get more of that green and more of that detail. But I think you've got the gist, yeah? So if you've got a double-sided piece of paper that's printed on both sides, any double-sided paper that's printed on both sides, reprint or paper favorites or graphic 45 or lawn fawn or doodlebug or studio light, whose paper do you have? If it's been printed on both sides, it's white in the middle. That means you can emboss it, sand it, and you won't have a color come up, but you'll have white come up. Unlike just a standard piece of paper. This is the purple one that I did. Once I start sanding, it's going to remain purple. It's going to go purple, purple, purple all the way through because there's no color difference. This paper is the same, it's dyed the same color all the way through, while this paper, the black and the brown, are printed on the top of it. So this paper started this color, and then in a second process, this brown was printed on the top of it, allowing us to sand to the color below. Any double-sided paper is going to let you do that as well. It'll just sand to white. So if I tear this, you can see big difference than a standard piece of cardstock. Let's see, do I have a piece of black cardstock right here? So, color core paper, black cardstock. There's nothing I can do with it with sanding it. Nothing's gonna change. You'll sand so much that you'll sand all the way through. You have to have something to sand to. And that's where magic and chocolate come in. But again, our quantities are very limited. So when it's gone until I can afford to manufacture it again, if that happens. We're hoping so, but I couldn't tell you for sure. Now, the next thing we can do with an embossing folder is easy peasy. You've seen it just emboss on the purple. You've seen it emboss with a color core paper. Now let's play with some inks. Oh, let's get some of this off my table. Let's play with some inks. So one of the big trends with embossing folders, and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. Oop, that's out. Let's go in. Okay, one of the big trends with embossing folders was to ink it. And inking an embossing folder is very, very, very simple. And it doesn't take a lot of effort at all. You can take whatever inks that make your heart happy. dye-based inks, preferably. You can use pigment-based inks, absolutely, but dye-based inks are easy and most people have them. I've got Hero Arts here that I'm going to use, and we always ink both sides of an embossing folder. Some people will put 2 pieces of paper in here, ink both sides, put 2 pieces of paper in. I just use 1 piece of paper and I ink both sides because then I have a choice. So I'm going to start with my lightest color, which is my yellow. I'll tell you, with embossing folders, a felt tip pad is easier to use than a foam tip pad. Sometimes with a foam tip pad, you'll go and it'll kind of stutter a little bit, or you end up pressing down and using too much ink. I'm just going to go right over the top of this with my lightest color, and because it's a felt top on my pad, it's not going So Memento ink also is awesome for this. All of your dewdrop inks are going to work perfectly. Okay, so I've got some yellow here, quite a bit of yellow, and I could just sand it through with yellow. Put my paper down, close it up, bring my machine over, and let's send it on through. By now you can recite back to me: base platform, solo shim, embossing folder, clear plate or do not cut pad over the top. Send it on through. Easy peasy roll. And look at what I did. Okay, so do you like this side? Or do you like this side? You get to choose. Because you inked both sides of your embossing folder, you get to choose which you like better. Which is why I say some people will put 2 pieces of paper in so that they get a piece of both. I'm like, it's white paper. If I want this side, if this side makes my heart happy, I'll just tape this side down and nobody will ever know. And if it's this side that makes my heart happy, I'll just tape this side down and nobody will ever know. But the key thing is, by taping both sides or inking both sides, you get to choose. And that's just using one color. What if we went back in with my yellow? Because you always start with your lightest colors. Ink, ink, ink. Ink, ink, ink. And then I hit it with, how about some bubble gum? And I'm just going to throw some bubble gum in here. Don't know what we're going to get, but we're going to get it. And then maybe some kind of tealy green, maybe? I don't know if this is tealy or not, but we're going to go for it. Okay, let's grab a piece of paper. This time almost full size. Drop it. And let's send it on through and see what we get. Look at the size of that. Now, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I just want to make sure I've got my sandwich right. And let's roll it on through. Easy peasy roll. And let's open it and see what we get. So do I like this? Oh, it has the extra yellow. Or do I like that? I don't know. Okay, let's wash, rinse, and repeat, shall we? Okay, let's clean it up. I'm just gonna take some a baby wipe and clean it up. I'm gonna do it again. That way we don't end up with this. That's because that's the extra yellow when I did this. That's the yellow that didn't transfer. Although this here and there is very nice. Or do you like this? What makes your heart happy? You don't have to choose. You can have both. But let's do it again. This time cleaning up after ourselves. I'm just using a baby wipe. And let's get the color. Maybe I'll use a different color this time since we're cleaning it up. All right, I think that's probably pretty good. It's just plastic. If it stains a little bit in color, that's okay. It's only plastic. All right, well, I'm gonna go for it again. It's only white paper, right? So what colors do we like this time? How about we do our yellow again, because why not? Yellow, yellow, yellow. Yellow, yellow, yellow. And then how about blue, blue, blue? And green, green, green. No clue what we're gonna get. That's the fun part of it. Put my paper in. Sandwich done, machine over, send it through. Okay. Ooh, pretty. So do we like this side? Or do we like this side? Look at how much room you have to play with. You could now score this and make that into a card base. You are just about at an A2 size. Look at that. Look at how easy that was to change just a piece of white paper into something fabulous. All right, I'm gonna put this one aside for right now, and I think I am going to bring out this one. And I'm gonna ink this one as well. This one is a little different. This one is called This Plus This is the folder. And there's lots of negative space in it. So it's not like this one where the background is kind of everywhere. This one has a lot of flat space in it. And I like the way it looks when you use an ink with it. So I'm gonna take my corn flour, I'm gonna make sure that I have all the other colors off of it until it goes blue again. So I'm just taking off the yellow and the green. There we go. So we're back to corn flour. And I'm going to throw corn flour over the top of this. So there and here. A lot of negative space in this folder. So it has an all over pattern, but between the pattern is flat space. All right, and then I think I'm going to take maybe just rust. What do we think, just rust? And let's kind of put some of that here and there. And then maybe a little bit of navy on top of it. Okay, let's grab a piece of paper. Half sheet of 8.5 by 11. So I'm using basically a half of a 8.5 by 11. Because these are the larger format from Spellbinders. Brand new for them. Love the size. Okay, let's send it on through. Nice square. And there we go. So you're going to get all over even pressure. So do you like this side or do you like this side? See, I love that. I think that looks amazing. Some of you might be going, yeah, I don't think so. But I love the movement of the ink and how it looks like it's almost painted on. But look at how crisp those plus signs are. Look at how crisp they are. Or maybe you like that side. It's entirely up to you. But I think because it's got that negative space, all that open space in there, it kind of lets the ink just kind of whoosh. Yes, sound effects required. Whoosh is what it does, where it doesn't really whoosh with this one because there's so much pattern. Very little empty space. Really, the only empty space you have is kind of in the centers. But this one's got lots of empty space for that movement to happen. Up to you. You have options with embossing folders. You can, again, do them on straight paper and just have it on paper. You can do it on color core paper. You can ink it in just one color and have two different looks. You can then start to play and make different combinations and experiment. It's only white paper. That's all it is white paper. So those are using embossing folders how they're typically used. I'm going to take them now and use them in a way, well, I'm going to use them with product that's different that you might not have seen before. So I'm going to wipe this one on down just because I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. So wipe that one down, and I'm going to wipe down this one super quick just in case I grab it next time. And this is just a baby wipe. Will your embossing folders stain? They might. It's okay. It's plastic. It's not going to hurt it. Different inks are going to stain it. Just depends upon the ink. All right, that one looks pretty clean, so I've got that one done. And that one done. Oh, there are the sound effects. There are the ambulances going by. It wouldn't be a SMS YouTube if we didn't have the fire trucks. Okay, so next thing I'm going to show, there they go. Next thing I'm going to show you is, I think we'll move to the Amsterdam paints. All right, I think we'll move to the Amsterdam paints. So I have two sets here, and these are acrylic paints. They are a fine art medium, value priced, I guess is the only way I can say it. These are pearl colors. These are metallic colors. I'm going to grab my phone really quick, and I'm going to, okay, Amsterdam Standard Series. I've got it on my phone. The Amsterdam Standard Series colors range consist of pure, single pigment primary colors for creating clear blends. These acrylics have a very high level of light fastness due to the use of pure, non-fading pigments. That means if you put it out in the sun, it's not going to fade. That's the layman's terms there. The use of 100% acrylic resin binding agent makes for an exceptionally durable application. Being alkaline resistant, these are also suitable for stone and other wall surfaces. This paint is easy to use with a short drying time, can be thinned easily with water, and is practically odorless. The clear tube packaging allows for the artist to see the actual paint color. As a side note, it is the best-selling acrylic in a fine art store, but that hasn't translated yet into the crafting world. Well, we're about to change that. So, yes, these are a fine art medium. That just means that they're the best quality you can buy. Now, the price on them, retail every day, is about $18 for the set. Okay, if this had paper crafting or scrapbooking anywhere on it, I guarantee you it would be double that price. But because it's coming from the fine art world, the price is so incredibly affordable. So we've got the metallics and we've got the pearl. I'm going to start with the pearl because you need to see them. You do. You need to see them. I'm going to grab a piece of black paper. And I'm going to open them up. Ooh, too much. A little goes a long way. So let's get all of our color down. And as they dry, they're going to dry no longer white. Can you see that I know they call them pearl, but they actually are an interference, which means they have this iridescent color. I don't think they're pearly at all. I think the color, as it dries, is stunning. And it's in a paint form. It is an acrylic, which means you can use it with just about everything. You can mix it with so many other mediums. I got a little blue in that one. Okay, so I've put a lot on there, but you can see them starting to dry. And the white disappears and that interference color comes through. They're beautiful. And you can mix them with paints you already have to give that iridescent to a plain flat paint. You bet. Best of friends right there. So as this dries, the colors become more and more beautiful. This is a little bit of happiness. I'm going to let it sit so we can play with them. Now, I'm going to be using a gel plate today, but I'm not going to be using it for what you typically, I'll show you how most people use it, but I'm going to use it a little differently. So a gel plate is this, you can see why it's called a gel plate. And I know people will make them at home and using gelatin, and I just don't know how long they last to do that. This is from Couture Creations, Ozzy Andrews' new 5x7 gel plate. I'm going to tell you it's $14.99, and you can't go wrong with that. I want to say that's our sale price is $14.99. It's amazing, and it lasts forever. This is very much like your embossing folder. It is a tool that you use in your crafting. You keep it forever, and a gel plate tends to get better over time. The more you use it, it's like seasoning a really good pot. The more you use it, the better it becomes. So I'm going to put that over here because I will use it. I will show you how most people use it, but I'm going to start by embossing some of these. Maybe I'll do this. Nope, I did that one. Maybe I'll do this one. How about we play with this one? So I'm going to take I'm going to run this one really fast 3 times because I want 3 pieces. So I'm going to move these out of my way, put my gel press over just a little bit, and I'm going to send these through just 3 times super fast because I want 3 of the same. Okay, ready? And we're just going to go. Okay, 1, done. Out with the paper. In with the paper. Number 2. Oh, I'm not straight. Back it out. It's getting a little tight. Why is it getting a little tight? Because my plates are not straight. Straighten them out. I had them a little crooked. And now, see, look at that. Big difference. Goes through without any problem. Okay, number 2, done. Gosh, I must still have some on there. Okay, number 3. Last one. Make sure my plates are squared. And send it on through. Okay, good. So I've got 3 of the exact same. Let's bring our gel plate over, and I'm going to grab a brayer. Now, I bet right now, some of you are thinking, oh, she's going to put some of that on here, and she's going to brayer it, and then she's going to put her paper on there. No, I'm not, but close. No, I want you all to see the 6 colors of those. Over the top of this. So let's start with our first one here, which is kind of a silver, and a little bit there. Just a little bit, a little dab will do ya. Now my brayer, and I'm just gonna kind of mish and mosh all that over there. And then my paper, and I'm just going to roll over the top. Pick it up a little more if I need a little more. Rotate my paper a little bit maybe. And now I've added. Ooh, right? But we're not done. Let's go to the next color. So wipe that down. In fact, I'm not even going to do a great job wiping it down because there's very little left. The reason I am using this is because the paint stays wet on here. It doesn't dry up too fast, and it allows you to come back and pick it up to put it down. So let's do my next color. Here's my silver. Keep them. Let's do my next color, which is the gold. A little dab will do ya. Not much. I'm going to start with less. Look at that. That's all I'm going to put on. I'm going to start with less. I can always add more. And I'm just going to kind of brayer it around just to kind of spread it out on my brayer. And then I'm going to come over . Oh, I grabbed 2 of them. And now I've got that gold iridescent coming through. Okay. I'm just gonna let it be. There's not that much left on here. I've taken and used most of it, so let's grab my next color. Little dab will do ya. Kind of spread it around. This is Ozzie Andrews' brand new brayer. So my table has got some dips in it. So I'm just kind of moving my, and I'm continually picking up that ink off my gel plate. Oh, isn't that pretty? Oh my gosh, I don't know if you can see the pink that it is. It's beautiful. Okay, that's pink. Let's go to kind of a, I don't even know if it's a deep blue. I'm just gonna put a little bit on there. And bring over my paper. isn't that good? A little dab will do you. Oh my gosh. Oh, then we did this one. Then we did this one. Look at those. Right? Gel press, important because it allows you to move the ink. Can you use a craft mat? You can. It's not the best. It can be done, but gosh, if you've got a gel press or if you've already got one, it doesn't even matter the size. If you've got a small one or a round one, whatever. Oh my gosh, it moves the ink so much better. It's not really ink, it's paint, an acrylic paint. A high quality, highly pigmented acrylic paint, which is why it does what it does. I haven't done all 6 colors yet. I'm getting there. Put my lid on. And let's bring it over. And I'm just picking it up and laying it down. So I know that lots of people are afraid of a gel press. They think it's very mixed media, very artsy fartsy. It's how you use that. Oh my gosh, that color is beautiful. Look at those two. They're gorgeous. They're absolutely gorgeous, but they don't come from the crafting world. And that is okay by me. Okay, a little bit of the last one, which I think is the green. Little dab will do you. Less is more. You can always add more color, but once you take it out of the tube, you can't put it back. Okay. So why wouldn't I do this with ink? Do it with the inks this way. Well, the inks don't ooze. The inks that I were using, these don't like ooze. They don't move. You put it on and it hits the tops and it hits the bottoms, but it doesn't move like an acrylic paint does. Like anything that's loose like this, where you can, it comes out in a little squirt. It doesn't ooze. So to do this to put it on here with an ink, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. There's no reason for it because the ink goes right on that embossing folder, easy peasy. If I were to take this and go on, of course it would be too much. Can I use a brayer on this with it? I can. Let me get you these colors. Let me add a little bit more green. Doop. A little bit goes a long way. Now I've got my green. So there was the green. There was the purple. There was the blue. There was the pink. There was the gold. And there was the silver. And they're wonderful. They're absolutely wonderful. But I've got backsides too. I've got backsides. So what if I took that green here and I put a little bit more down there and I brayer it And then I roll my backside. Now I could add more. I could add more green to it and really get better coverage if I want. Remember, these are handmade. They're not going to be 100% perfect. They're going to be yours. So a little bit of green. Boy, my table is wonky, but that's okay. Cover that up. Cover that up. And just keep adding until I'm happy. So do you like it this way? Or do you like it that way? Let's take and let's do the purple. I'm just going to leave my green there and I'm going to be fine with it. Oh, I think I'm going to need a little more purple. Kind of rotate it around. It's got a little green mixed in. Look at how pretty is that? So do you like it this way? Or do you like it that way? Let's take the blue. And I'm just going to leave my purple and my green there. And I'm just going to go for it. And I'm just brayering. Can you see that blue coming through? I don't know if the camera catches it or not because I can't tell. All I can tell you is that from my angle, it's gorgeous. So the blue, the purple, the green. You still have the embossing. You still have all that detail. But then you have this iridescence on top of it that you can't get. Okay, there is no powder, like you can do this with a powder. No, there is no watercolor where you can do this. No, these are crazy good. They are just beautiful, and it really depends upon what you want to do. What side do you like better? Your choice. You have options. And all I did was roll. I didn't use my gel press for what it's typically used for. And I can, you know what, I'm going to come back to these. I'm going to use these again. So I'm going to put those there. I can use my gel press for what it's meant to do. Let's pull some of the metallics. Now, are the metallics good? Yes, the metallics are a beautiful product too. They're priced the same. You may already have some metallic paints. Maybe you don't need these. I definitely, if I can say one thing, The embossing folders and this are stunning, absolutely stunning. The size of the embossing folders makes them so user-friendly. You now get so many more options with them. And then when you combine them with this beautiful paint, oh, okay, so let's take a metallic. Ooh, wait. Let me roll. Let me take this one. This is the only one we haven't used so far, I think, the loop-de-loop. And let me roll. And that way we have some to play with. Okay, bring it over, and I'm just gonna do them super fast, just like I did last time. Make sure my platforms are straight. Whoop, there we go. And roll. And one is done. Done. Let's put another one in. Roll. Straighten my, and over the hump, and away it goes. 2, and last one. Come on. Do I have one more piece of paper cut? Why, yes I do. It's a little thinner, but that's okay. Look at the size of the paper that I'm able to use. Think about your slimline cards. Now you can do more than slimline cards. I mean, it's limitless. 5x7s, card bases, matting, slimline, mini slimline, A2, A6. You decide. They're all gonna fit in here. Okay, 3. Yay for me. Let's take and play with one of the metallics. And I'm gonna chop it in half. Zoop. Sound effects required. Look at that color. That is the color. That's why they put these little dots here, because when you look at the pearl set, they're all white. The base is all white. The only way that you get to see the color is by that little dot, or when you put it on paper. These are the actual paint. What you see is what you get. And like I said, you can mix it with other mediums. So you can take other paints and mix this to it. So let's go. Roll. Oh, I got my finger in it. Well, you'll excuse my little finger in it. So we've got one side, which is in a rich copper. I wonder what they call this color. Oh, I can't tell. I have no idea. I can't read it. It's so small. Oh, they call it copper. Okay, well, good to know. A little bit more. One side, the other side. But what if I want to play some more? What if I want to put on some iridescence to it? What if I want to add some pretty iridescence. Right over the top of it. And then you're going to start to, oh, is that so cool? Love that. Can I run it over the top? Sure I can. A little dab will do ya. And now I've got it over the top. Oh, that looks good. That's a little bit of happiness right there. Okay, let's grab another one. Where's my other half? Let's do another one. And I'm just gonna let this fly, I think. Let's take maybe this light gold. What color are they calling it? Funny if they called it light gold. And I'm gonna let this color, you know what, I could go like this and like that and like this and put down a piece of paper and kind of grab what other color is left. Okay, I've pulled up all the color I can from there. I'll do something with that. Don't ask me what, but we'll do something with it. Let's put down some gold. Little dab will do ya. And maybe some of that copper again. And let's see what we get. So now I've got the gold and the copper going through that. And now I've got my gold and my copper here. And if I want a little more gold, I can add a little more gold. That was a lot more gold. Kind of move it around. If I want to add a little iridescence to it, what color iridescence do we want? Or have we gone too far? Is there such a thing as too far? I don't know if there is. Let's go for the silver and see what happens. And I just keep layering and layering and layering. You can't go wrong. There's nothing that you can do that's going to be an oops. This is the green. And now I've got the green running through it. Look at how beautiful it is. There's nothing that you can do that's going to be an oops. Really, there isn't. It's forgiving, it's easy, it's cost effective, it's beautiful when you use it. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. And now I've got all of this here. Let's see if I can pull any of it up. Because I'm not one to waste. So maybe I could even give a little bit of a mist. Maybe let's see if I can get a little bit of that, a little bit of that. And just keep trying to pull it up before I wipe it all down. Okay, that's what I've got. And you're like, okay, but now what are you going to do with that? I'm still not convinced I can't get more. Okay, so what am I going to do with this, right? All right, let's move it to the side. Oh, let's put them back where they belong with the lids on. What if I take this and I run it through this one? In fact, let's take this, because this was the other one that I did. Let's just put a little more color on here just so we can pick it up. That's all we're going to do, is just add some color in here. For the sole purpose of picking it up. So all I want to do is grab that color. Are those different enough? Oh yeah, those are definitely different enough. Okay, so then let's run them through. And I can put both of them at the same time. It's the little things, people. It really is the little things. Let's move them over. Let's roll it through. Let's see what we get. Look at how pretty they are. Look at how pretty they are. Now I wonder if I can add, oh, you know what I should have done? Okay, let's go ahead and let's do that. I should have flipped them the other way. All right, so let's add some more color. Let's add this one. And this one. And maybe a little bit of the gold, just the light gold for good sake. Ooh, way too much. Holy smokes, artichokes. We're gonna have lots of that. Okay. I'm just gonna pick it up. Oh, that's so good. So this is more what a gel press is used for. Let's do one more and let's add a lot of something else. Let's add this one. And let's pick it up. That needs a little something to it, don't you think? I agree. It needs a little something to it. Let's add some of this. See, it's like being a mad scientist where there's no right and there's no wrong. All you can do is play. Oh, that's better. It needed a little something, right? Should we add a little bit of that blue just because it was so, no, how about the green? This is where where I need to learn to stop, but it's so hard. Where's that green? No, no, no. That's the blue. Anybody see where I put the, oh, there it is. Let's add a little bit of pop of green. So I can just keep layering color after color. Oh, it just keeps getting prettier and prettier. Okay, so I have these two to play with. This time, I'm going to put it in my embossing folder right side up. See, I did these so you get the debossed side, which is beautiful and lovely. Nothing wrong with it. But I should have done them with the embossed side. So my Spellbinders facing me, my paper facing me. Do them both at the same time. And send them through. And send them on through. Okay, done. Oh, so much better. Nothing wrong with what I had done before, but this is what I wanted. Okay, so now I've got them with the embossed side. So the side, this is raised up, whereas this, the impression is dented down. So if I took this and brought this over and did a little bit of this, now look at what I get. But, oh, I guess I can do this one too, but maybe I should do this one in something else. Okay, I'm gonna hold, since I don't know what I wanna do with it yet. I'm gonna wipe this down. So you can be making backgrounds after backgrounds after backgrounds. It's so much fun to play, and there's no wrong. Let's see if I got too much water on there. What's the worst that can happen? It's white, or it's black paper. I'm all about getting it all on paper. Don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'm not willing to leave it behind. Okay, I'll do something with those. We'll figure it out. I'm not willing to leave it behind. So I think this time I'm going to take a little bit of my Sizzix paint. Now, this paint is beautiful paint. It's beautiful paint. Nothing wrong with it. It is a great creamy acrylic paint. The difference is the amount of pigment in this paint versus this tube. This has a lot of white in it to achieve the colors. The way to get those pastel-y colors and keep it affordable is to pigment down, is to white. So a lot of white in these paints where there isn't any white in here. That means these paints, you even need less because it spreads even further. It's got so much white in it. So what if I did the pink? And I mean a little dab will do you. Okay, that's all I'm gonna put. There's almost nothing on there. And I'm gonna brayer it out. And now look at what I've got. This stuff is magic. A brayer, your embossing, they're not even 3D embossing folders. Let's do this one. And this time I think I will use a little bit of the green. Do you have to do this much with your embossing folders? No, not every time, but isn't it nice to know you can? Isn't it nice to know what can be done with them? Oh, that's just beautiful. Oh, I might do something with this one. Okay, let's take the green and a little bit of green. And I mean little bit. Acrylic paint is a paint that it doesn't take much. That's why sometimes you look at it and you go, how much for a tube that size? But you have to know a tube that size is going to last you. And well, actually, these are like 18 bucks for all 6 tubes. That's an unbelievable price. And then they're on a YouTube Yummy sale. But if you were to walk into a fine art store, you might see acrylic paints for $5, $10 a tube, and you're like, wow, that's a lot. It isn't when you see how little you use. And the gel press is what makes it happen. It lets me spread it out so I can brayer it on. They're beautiful. Is this one dry? Look at those colors in a paint form. Yes, mica might look like this, and yes, you might be able to get markers like this, but in a paint form, you can't do this with markers. How beautiful is that? And mixing the metallic and the pearl, which I think is more interference than anything else. Okay, what do we want to do with this one? Maybe we take this one and we use the green again and we do the opposite side. So let's add a little green. So I did this one in the green this way. Now let's do the negative side, the other side, the deboss side with the green. You need guy cards, you need guy backgrounds. Well, which one works for you? Because all of them are beautiful. There's not a bad one in the bunch. You want to just do the interference, the pearl? Absolutely. I could sit here for hours, literally, and just play and just add and add and add. And here I've got this one that's dry now. What do I want to do with it? Do I want to add more color to it? Do I want to, let's take this one and wipe this one down. So wipe off my plate. Wipe off my brayer. And I'm never 100% great at cleaning things off. There's still going to be a little residue left. Let's send both of these through at the same time. And one facing down, one facing up. That way I get the positive and the negative, the debossed and the embossed. Send them on through, and I still haven't used the gel press for what it typically is used for. This lets you have a little more control on where you put the color and what colors you put versus using the gel press as it's typically used. So now I've got this one debossed, this one embossed. Let's take my my gold. Run it right over the top. Let's take my gold. Run it right over the top. These were the ones I picked up with the water. You want to add a little more pink interference to them? No problem. Let's grab that pink. Put that down. Roll it right over the top. And now I'm adding that pink interference on top of the gold so that it has even a more, it's just more is what it is. So my gold is still coming through, but as I turn it and as it dries, a hue of pink will come all over the entire thing. There's a, oh, not right there. I don't know, can you see that? That one little place I missed is still the gold that it was, but the rest of it has a pink hue to it. And then I could come back. You get the gist, right? There's just nothing that you can't do to these. And I'm just working on black paper and I'm mixing them and I'm This may ruin it, but you never know, it's only paper. I don't know what works for you. When is too much too much? For me, I have a hard time because I never think too much is too much. I could just keep adding layer upon layer and it's just black paper. That's all it is black paper. So let's talk about what a gel press is really used for, what most people will use it for, which is laying down your ink and then putting an impression into it and being able to pick up that impression. And you're like, huh? What? Say what? Let's go ahead and wipe it on down. You see how easily it cleans up. Okay, a gel press was used kind of as a transfer. So you would ink it up. Let's pick an ink. Let's pick a paint. I want to go to this one a lot. I don't know. I should probably change things up. Let's pick a paint. Let's lay that down a little bit. And then maybe throw down this one a little bit. And then maybe a little of this. Okay, all inked up. And then you would take a stamp or a stencil and you would push it in and then pull it up, leaving the impression in the paint, put your paper down and pull up that transfer. So if we did it, let's do two sides. So I've got two sides to an embossing folder, right? Two sides. If I do this one, and then I press it down, it's a gush pad, but it's too gushy for it to stamp on. But you need the gush to push that impression in. And then I pull it up. And then let's take the other side, because I left it half so that I could do the other side. And let's press that. Oh, I smushed it, I moved. Oh yeah, I rocked it. Okay, well, I did. And then let's take a piece of paper and let's put it on top and rub. And while I'm doing that, let's take a piece of paper and put it in here. And roll. So that's nice and done. Let's pull it up. And I've kind of transferred the impression. I think I had too much paint down. Too much. We'll try again. Let's roll this through real quick though. I think I had too much paint. Less is more. So this is the paint that transferred onto the embossing folder after I put it onto the gel press. I might as well use it, right? It's there, it's on there. I might as well do something with it. So I just transferred it. Now let's try this again. And this time let's use less. that. And maybe, let's try that. And let's see what we get. And let's bring our plate back over. And let's try this side. This has got the Spellbinder. And let's press, press, press. And then let's pull it up. And let's see if I still have too much ink down there. Oh, a little better. A little better. I'm going to wipe that down and we're going to try the other side. So why am I wiping it down in between? Because that impression is left on there. And if I just roll over the top of it, the ink, that impression is going to stay there and it's going to transfer. So let's try the other side. And let's do a little bit of this. I always want to put too much, and maybe a little bit of the green. Okay, so I did it with the Spellbinders side first, so now I'm going to do the opposite side. Press, 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 press. And pull. I can already tell you I'm going to like this side better. I can already see it. Oh yeah, that's better. And I've transferred the image. Can I do that with regular colors, with regular paints? Sure, I can go in there with a little bit of this, just a little. And a little bit of this. I'm going to hope that that's enough. Just a little. And maybe a little bit of this. Okay, and I'm just afraid of putting too much on. And then, oops, okay. Ooh, too much. Stacy. Now I could go in there. Let's see, it might be too light, but I could just go in there and pick up that color. And pull. And you're like, I don't know about that one. All right, well, give a girl a chance. You never know what you're going to end up with until you end up with it. Take a little bit of that green. And who knows? Let's see. How about we try this one? And let's go opposite side. And press, press, press. And pull, pull, pull. And down we go. And at the same time, I'm going to put a piece of paper in here to see what we get. So I'm going to send that through. I'm going to pull this off. Oh, probably not enough. This time I went a little bit too low. All right, well, because I had pulled this one first, but that's okay. We're going to do something with it. Move over. Let's run it on through. Ooh. I'm going to do it. Nope, it's going to have to be that way. Let's run it on through and see what we get. So this is the leftover that's on my embossing folder from smudging it down. Look at how soft and pretty those colors are. So I took it out of the embossing folder. It was after I was done pushing that embossing folder into the gel press, it left ink. So I just put a piece of paper in there. Why not grab it and use it, right? You may not use it today, but you might use it tomorrow. And do I have to be done with it like that? No, and then I can put this one in here too. Let's put that one in there. Because that's the one I just took the color straight off the gel press. And let's send this one on through. So now I've got this. And I've got this one. And maybe I take this one and I use a little green, just a little. Don't know what this one looks like yet. Try it on white paper. Okay, that's very cool. There's no wrong. Doesn't that make your heart happy when there's no wrong? There's just no wrong. Let's use that black one on this one. What is it? Is it, what color are they calling this? What color are you? Graphite? I'm gonna say graphite. Let's put a little of that, just a dab. Look at that little dab. of charcoal. I put the, almost like you inked it again. I'm meh on that one. I loved it on this one, but I'm kind of meh on that one. Let's use a different color. No, I don't like that one either. Okay, well, we're just going to keep using a color until I find one that makes my heart happy. You use so little, you can just keep layering. I refuse to throw it away. Nope, still not there yet. You're like, let it be. Well, I can't just let it be. I gotta find one that makes my heart happy. And now I've got so many different colors on here. I got so many colors on here. I actually made mud. All right, let's try to not make mud. But I'll do something with that. Let's try to not make mud. Oh, now we're getting there. Okay, now I'm starting to get there to where I like it. Okay. It only took 15 colors in 10 minutes. But no judgment, right? All right. I'm happy now. Took a little time, but I got there. Oh my gosh. Look at all of them. I don't know which ones I did the fronts and the backs. How can they not make you smile? How can they not make you go, oh my gosh, that color is amazing? Because that color is amazing. And the embossing folders having so much opportunity with the size. So much opportunity with the size. You're not limited to anything. Look at, I've got this beautiful big one still sitting here. I've got that beautiful big one sitting there. Clean this up a little bit so I don't make mud. Gosh, even it does look like mud. Well, mud's a color too, right? Trust me, when I was a little kid, mud was a good friend of mine. Okay, how about we take this one? This is that pearly, silvery color. Clean off my brayer a little bit. Like I said, I'm never one to get everything off. And then maybe that pink. This is the purple. That purple comes out so beautiful. Let's do the same thing on the back. So a little bit of that silvery color. Are they calling it silver? Why, yes, they are. And then that, oh, this is the pinky one. Oh my gosh, that color is beautiful. That iridescence is amazing. And then what do you do with it? You make pretty things with it, is what you do with it. That's what you do. You take it from something that looked like that and make it into something that doesn't. Okay, you're gonna say too far, Stacy. I know, but it's only black paper and it does have another side. See, I love that shabby look to it. I love the shabbiness. Shabby works for me, and now I'm gonna probably make mud again. And it's so quick drying. Oh, see, to me, that's nothing but happiness. And I don't even have inky fingers. That kind of makes me sad. You would think for that kind of color and that kind of texture in a project, you would have inky fingers to show for it. No inky fingers. Oh, but beautiful. So easy, so fun. The sizes are amazing. I mean, really amazing on the size. I could just take on the white. Little bit of purple, little bit. Just on the white. Bit of pink just because I can. So this gel press becomes your new best friend. You look at your embossing folders in a totally different way. Yes, you can ink them with your inks. Yes, you can use a color core or white core paper. Sure you can. But you can do so much more with them. And they're so pretty. Did you see how little I used? Just for a little bit of metallic going on. And again, they're to the size where you can actually make a card base if you want to. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful things. Pick the side you want. It's up to you. Look at what we did. Look at how much we did. The colors are beautiful. They're rich. They're light fast. That means they're not going to fade over time. They blend with everything. And when you have the size of embossing folders that let you do so much, you can now cut this down to anything you need it to be. Or you can put two in at the same time. Oh, that's really good. Just ask me, I'll tell you. Oh my gosh, that's so good. I just want to add a little something more to that but I won't. Look at them. Spellbinders knocked it out of the park with the size of the embossing folders, no question about it. And remember, we started way back here. We started way back here when we just embossed it on plain paper. Remember all that time ago when we did these? Just inked it with plain ink. This may be where you want to be. Then again, this may be where you end up. You may start just by doing something simple like this. Just simple. Beautiful, very effective, looks amazing. But in time, you might find yourself growing into some of these techniques and some of these products that are, well, I really do think that those paints, for what you're getting, is a beautiful product. So start somewhere. You may be well beyond this. And all of a sudden, this is piquing your attention. Love the movement in here. It's beautiful. And the only reason why you get that is because there's so much flat space in the embossing folder. Love it. I don't know. I think it's all Rockstar. And when you're talking about white and black paper, I think that's beautiful. To me, that's a card right there. That's a guy card. Trim that baby out and make something. And then trim that, use the backside to do something else. All right, you guys. It was a lot, I know, but I'm excited about it. Whenever you find tools that let you do more with what you may already have, you have to get excited about it, because it expands your creativity, it expands your dollars that you've already spent. If all you use a gel press for is to use it for your palette, it is well worth the money. It really is. Love it. It's not for everything. Not everything's going to work on a gel press, but your acrylics, absolutely. Can I put my inks down there? Sure, if I want to. They might bubble, or not bubble up, but they might bead up a little bit. That's going to change the look entirely. So not all inks work on a gel press. Paints, amazing. And then just water to clean up. There are oodles and oodles and oodles of YouTubes out there showing you how to use a gel press, and even I have them, how to use a gel press to get the transfer done. And you know, it just depends upon if you're using a stamp or a stencil or an embossing folder and what the outcome you're looking for. If you're looking for mixed media, more grungy, more artsy fartsy, then that's going to be right up your alley. If you like to have a little more control, I am all about the brayer. Makes my heart happy. And then just putting the inks straight onto the embossing folders. So I'm trying to lid up some of this stuff so I don't get them lost. And then I will, oh, no lid. Fine art isn't about your talent. It's about the product you're working with. Everything you make is art. Anything you make is art, whether it be a card, a layout, a tag, a scrapbook page, a junk journal. That is your art. Oh, I've mixed. It's just a matter of, one, what kind of products do you want to use? We try to carry only the very best. We really do. It's important to me. And when I can bring in something that is such a high quality product, and they're not, and it's so affordable in comparison to what we would pay if it said scrapbooking or paper crafting or card making on it. Okay, so I've kind of cleaned up my mess a little bit. Thank you for that time to do that. I have got oodles of samples to show you. I'm going to clean up my craft mat. See, it doesn't come off my craft mat. I have to give a little pressure, get it wet. And then it's going to come right off because I've dried it on there. So, whoops. Dry paint is dry paint, but you see I'm just misting my craft mat and getting it off. So it tends to dry faster, the paint on my craft mat, than on the gel press. So that's why I could put my paint down here. I could and move it around, but it tends to dry faster on this than the gel press. Okay, so what have we got for sale? Well, we have got, we'll put the Sizzix acrylics on there, but you probably already have them. And there's more colors than this. These are just the colors I played with today, but we'll put all the colors in and I want it all. We will put what's left of the magic and the chocolate, and the price is what the price is. It's my product, so it's not an additional 20% off. It is what it is. Whatever it's on there for is the best price we can do for you. And we're very limited to what we have left. And then we have from Aussie Andrew, we have his new brayer, which I've been using all day. It has the little stand so you can stand it up. It's got a little hook, or a little hole so you can hook it if you want. So we've got the new brayer. We've got his new gel printing plate, 5x7. We've got his little sand it gadget, which I will be using a lot next week. Definitely next week with this too. Then I have got the Amsterdam paints. I've only got the 2 sets, the pearl and the metallics. Oh my gosh. The interference and the beautiful metallics. Can't go wrong with either of them. It's just up to you what you want it to look like. So both of those on sale. Then I have got the embossing folders from Spellbinders. This one has already been released. This one has not, worldwide launch. This one has already been released. This one has not, worldwide launch. This one has already been released. So we will have them open stock and in the I Want It All bundle. And then I also have 2 other items from Spellbinders. So this has not released yet. This is also, I believe, a worldwide launch. It says happy birthday, and then you have all the stamps that go with it. And so you can say happy birthday for someone special, happy belated birthday, have the best day ever, let's celebrate, make a wish, hooray. It's just got everything that you need. I don't believe this is launched yet. I think we're the first to have it. And we have the cutting dies. Why am I showing you these? Because all the samples were made using, if there's a sentiment, we probably used one of these. So we've got those on sale for you as well. Let's do samples. And this week I have a boatload of them. The girls had so much fun. That's using the splatter embossing folder. Look at that. And the thank you is from the, what are they calling it? They're calling it S5443 Simply Perfect Mix and Match Sentiments. Okay, so, gosh, what do you get in there? Well, I see it says 11 cutting dies, but I can't tell you what each die is. Huh, well, hopefully it's on the, I know you get thank you. And you get sending hugs. And this was done with the embossing folder. You get happy birthday. Now this background was done using the paints and the cross, using it as a gel press, just giving you a very faint background to it. But look at the beautiful colors. Look at the iridescence, and the happy birthday is part of that die set. Look at how beautiful is that. This was all done with that splattery one and the paint and the happy birthday Spellbinders. Here we just did a simple, we just embossed it, did it very simply. Some things get better with age. I'm assuming that's going to be, let's see, is it on here? Yes, some things get better with age. It's on this set right here, the sentiment. And we just used the embossing folder for the background. Kept it simple. And look at how cute is this one. Again, used the embossing folder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just layered them into each other. They're not layered on top. You've got a frame cut here, and then a frame cut here, and then a frame. So it's like you took a nesting set, put them all down, cut all your colors, and then just layered them in because they are flat to each other. And then this happy birthday comes with the die and stamp set. Yes. So there's the happy birthday, the stamps, and there's the die that goes with it to cut it out. Happy birthday. And then look at this. So here's the background. Look at that blue. So this was done with the gel press, pressing the embossing folder into the gel press and then grabbing that image and lifting it up. Cute, right? And here you have thank you. So again, look at, you've got it used as the gel press is intended. So we've put the ink down onto the gel press, we pressed the embossing folder into it, and then we picked it up to make a background. And then we have thank you from Spellbinders. So their embossing folder, the new large size, 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. Do a half a sheet of 8.5 by 11, all in one embossing folder. Look at how cute is this. Again, using their large embossing folder. There's the happy birthday. Look at how cute is that, right? And then here we've used the inks and their happy birthday. Look at that, isn't that pretty? And the embossing folder, ah, so nice. And here we just used the inks, put the inks down on the gel press and put our paper straight on top of it, and look at what we got. And that's with the Sizzix. Those are the Sizzix inks and the Amsterdam, or the Sizzix paints and the Amsterdam paints. Here we kept it simple, and just a simple thank you with the embossing folder in the back and the thank you from the die. And here we've die cut out all the circles. Look at the blue. That's that Amsterdam pearl paint mixed in with, it looks like one of the coppers. Oh, and the congrats from Spellbinders. These are just, this is beautiful. This is their splatter die cut. Look at how lovely it is. That's amazing. And then look at this one. Same thing. This is that splatter embossing folder. And we put the ink onto the gel press, pressed it in, pulled it up, put a piece of paper down, pulled it all up. And look at how cute is that for congrats. Look at the detail it picks up. Okay, next set of samples. Told you we have a lot. Another one with the splatter and the Amsterdam paint. So you've got the Spellbinders embossing folder, the Amsterdam paint. Here you've got the Spellbinders folder and the Sizzix and Amsterdam paint. Here we've just used the embossing folder and happy birthday. Simple, clean, easy. Here we've got sending hugs, where they took the paper, they inked up on both sides, ran it through, and then cut it and did half and half. So on the back side of this is this one, and on the back side of that is this one. So took a piece of paper that size, ran it, had both sides inked, or we pulled both sides, and then cut it. Inked both sides. Look at how cute is that. Oh, look at the colors in this. And can you see the embossing folder? Oh, look at the color in that. That's beautiful. And then again, look at this. All using their embossing folder and Aussie Andrews gel press and the acrylic paints. And then super easy, super fun. How happy. Just cutting up different colors, all embossed with the same embossing folder, and color blocking it. And then Claire did this. And I'm supposed to open it. Okay, oh, hugs. Okay. So you've got the embossing folder image in the background. And here you've got the embossing folder just on the 3 circles. And this one was inked. And here we've taken the Amsterdam and just went over textured paper. This background's beautiful. We made this piece right here. This piece is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Happy birthday. How fun is that with the embossing folder? Now my guess is they've got a punch this size and they punched them out and glued them down. That's my guess. I'll have to ask downstairs. And how happy is this? See, you can do this with that embossing folder because you've got the length. You've got the length and the width. And here, they've put it through acetate. And the last one is just so cute. I'm done with that splattery embossing folder. All right, you guys. Ooh, that was a lot. I played a lot. You might have gotten a little tired of me playing, but I'm sorry. It's just so much fun, and I get carried away, and probably my worst, let's go, oh, wait a minute, come back. Tell me what to do now. Okay, my camera. Probably my worst thing is not knowing when to stop, because I can just play with the color again and again and again. It makes my heart happy to layer all of those colors and to see that my paper doesn't crumble, it doesn't ball up, they're beautiful. And you can just, it's like you almost don't know when is too much too much. Is it ever really too much? Well, I did make mud, but mud is a color, right? Right. Okay. All right, you guys. So where are you going to find all of this product? Please look under our YouTube Yummies category at scrapbookingmadesimple.com. That's where you're going to find it. That's the easiest place to find it, is under our YouTube Yummies category. It's on sale for just a week. Now, if you've got a local independent retail store that's got the Sizzix paints, go buy it there. If you've got a fine art supply store that's got the Amsterdam paints, go buy it there. If you've got a mom and pop that has got at least 3, they'll have 3 of those embossing folders from Spellbinders. Go buy it there. Support your local independent small mom and pop shops. If you don't have any, then come online and shop. We would appreciate that greatly, but we want to make sure that we support the other families out there who are just doing their best to keep their doors open. That's important too. So, thank you. Thank you for my silver play button. Thank you for my kids looking at me with a little bit of admiration and awe. Now they can tell all their friends, hey, my mom's got a silver play button. I so appreciate it. It means the world to me. Happy New Year, everybody. I will see you next week for the next Saturday with Stacy, YouTube class number 431. And it is a wow. All right, until then, I'm Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Bye.